Next part of the engine rebuild, I've got to send the head off, or rather take the head to an automotive engineering shop, and they're going to deal with the rusted out waterways on my aluminum head, cut them out, weld them up, then machine the head. One of the things I believe I should do for them, as they may need it done, is remove all the valves. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I don't have the correct spring compressor, so I made one. And if you remember on my previous video, this area here was a lot longer. I discovered that that was way too long, and I've done 3 of the ports. I'm going to do one online now with you guys so you can see what I do. Please excuse the welding. I was kind of frustrated when I did that because I'd done one lot of perfect welds and then I had to cut them all off. And also I've discovered that this steel, although strong, is not really strong enough. But you know, guys, you can make this. I mean, if you've got one of these valve spring compressors, you know, with a little bit of steel and some pipe and basic welding skills, which is all I have, you can do this. And you can see the tools there. These are also tools that are required to get the valve out. And let me now try and show you, and hopefully it'll be in focus. And well, anyway, here we go. Let's try this one. So we've done we've done 6, 5 and 4. We're now going to do number 3. So place that on there, bring this up onto the valve. Doesn't quite reach, so let's just back it off a bit, give it a little more. Now bring it up onto the valve. Make sure you're lined up on this side. Okay, it's clicked in. Now it's not quite in the position I want it in, so let's see if I can just nope, let's just release release the pressure and try again. Sorry if you're seeing my wrist, but it's more me to get it lined up than you just see it. Damn, this is tight. Alright, hang on a second, guys. I knew this wasn't going to be easy on camera, but here we go. Okay, let's try again. Okay. Alright, that's good. Now I'm going to try winding up this here to get a bit of extra tension on it. Now, as I said, this isn't strong enough and it hasn't pushed the spring down, hence my little friend. Okay, and as you can see, it shot down there when I hit it. Had I made this stronger, it might have done it. I must admit, I'm kind of not enjoying, but prefer this way to get the tension on and then try and wind it up a bit more. And one thing I have done, which I put copper grease all over this thread. It makes this thing go so much smoother. And obviously you want to be careful, you know, you're dealing with a spring with a lot of, well, in fact you're dealing with 2 springs with a lot of tension. Now let's go around the other side and see if I can actually see what I'm doing. And do note, those of you that are cringing going, oh, he's sliding that aluminum head on that metal. I'm not. Underneath here is a piece of wood. Okay, let's see. Can I see the collets yet? I can see them, not sure if they're loose. This is where these tools start to come in. And believe me, this is the pain in the ass and tricky bit. You have to wind it till you've got it in just the right point where the collets come away and don't jam. Of course, because I'm filming this, they're jammed to fuck. Okay, let's try the different one. Just like to get one out whilst it's on camera. To show that I did do it. There it is. Then you grab your little magnet and pull it out. That's one. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time and my embarrassment by showing me getting the other collet out. Once that's out, I'll come back to this. Okay, Murphy's Law struck again, or as I prefer to call it, Sod's Law. 2 seconds after I pulled the camera off, I reached in there, the second collet popped out, and I grabbed it with my magnet, and everything was done. So, next thing now is to release the pressure. What I prefer to do is just unwind it, rather than grab the lever, and let the tension suddenly go. Why? Because I'm a coward. I don't like pain. I can tolerate a lot of pain, but that doesn't mean I like it. Alright, here we go. And yes, I know you guys are suffering with the pain of having to listen to me, but that's your problem. Okay, she's coming off nicely. Okay, the tension is almost gone. Right, now I can pull the lever off. Okay. Now the reason I wanted to show you this is, okay, you bring out this. There are 2 springs, which I'm sure you were aware of. Push the valve out, nice and smooth. Just check it. And in fact, apart from being coked up, which is expected, that shaft feels really good. That's what she said last night. And then the next thing you got to do, don't forget this. In here, there is a little metal, what should I call it? Protector. Why? Because when this spring hits the aluminum head, that's a lot of wear, and aluminum cannot stand it. Hence, you have this. And just as a reminder to you, which I'm sure you all know anyway, this is where the bucket sits. And then obviously the bucket is on top of there, on top of the valve, and there is the shim. So you have bucket, shim, valve. And it all slides up and down in here, which of course will be cleaned out like crazy before I put this thing back together. In fact, I'm expecting the engineering shop will clean this. I know they're going to pressure test it, but I'm imagining they're going to clean this as well. I'm still debating whether or not to get those retainers that hold in these, what's the word? Bucket guides, I guess is the correct words. I've never known any of these move, but some people do that. I don't know. It's something I'm going to think about. And what bothers me, of course, is the fact that I'd have to start drilling into the head and tapping the head, and I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not racing this. I will drive it spiritedly. Who am I kidding? Might. Once this baby's running, I'm going to be flooring it. I still don't think I'm going to do it. All right, that's it for this particular section. Obviously, the rest of the valves come out the same. The exhaust is exactly the same. So there's no point in me showing you all of that. Next thing, I guess I'll probably be showing you. Actually, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be showing you next. I would love to say the head coming back from the machine shop. That's probably not true. It's going to take a while and quite a few dollars. So, all right, kids. Last look at the cylinder head. Quick spin around. Look at the block. There you go. That's probably what I'm going to do next. Is my parts are arriving tomorrow, and I will be installing the core plugs. First, I'll clean this rest of the side of the block, then put the core plugs in. Then I'm going to paint the baby. So that's probably what I'll be showing you. And as you saw from my previous video, the crank is just laying there. It's not fitted in any way, shape or form. That's another thing I will show you. But first and foremost, core plugs in, paint the block, turn the engine over, rehone the bores just to get all that paint off that's got in there, clean up the base here where the oil pan goes. That will be about it. That will be about it. Ha! Yeah, like there's not a lot of more to do. Believe that. You also believe in the Tooth Fairy and Father Christmas and all those other things. Alright kids, I'm cutting off now and I'll be back on the next video. Keep safe. Alright, so the next bit I'm showing is not going to be painted, or the painting of the block. I just wanted to show you guys this cylinder head now that I've removed all the exhaust valve, intake valves. As you can see, yeah, there's some pitting there, but they are not too bad. What's today? Today's Wednesday, so I'm taking this head up to the shop on Friday, so I got another day to take out all the exhaust valves. And let's face it, I'm going to do it today. Now, if we get this up here, see, piece of wood, I didn't lie. And we look down, again, not looking too bad. One other thing for you guys who are trying to use this as a guide to rebuilding the XK engine because you perhaps haven't done it before or you've worked on other engines. I've often said this and I will continue to say it and bore the pants off you. Mark everything. You see here I have a bag in 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's obvious they're intake valve 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeps everything together because you want the same valve back in to its original location. Yeah, I'm changing the springs. I won't change the collets. I won't change the wear washer, for want of a better word. And the little cup on the top there, I won't be changing that either. But I will be changing all the springs. I don't know how long they've been there or how weak they are. So, you know, when you're doing this, don't skimp or don't do it. I'm skimping in certain areas, I must admit, yes. But certain areas, it's just not worth it. Earlier in one of my videos I was talking about the timing chains, how one of them was new and the other one looked worn, and the slippers were worn. The kit was so much cheaper than just buying a chain and then the slippers, and it came with a new tensioner as well. Now the tensioner that I've taken out has got virtually zero wear on it, but now I'm going to replace it. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And if anybody wants a tensioner, they can have it, but you really should just go buy the whole kit. Alright, so this really is it for this particular section. And as I tried to say once before, but the video seemed to cut me off, it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him. And those of you that do not know, do not recognize that, look up the two Ronnies on YouTube. And I'm not talking about the Cray twins. I'm talking about Ronnie Barker and Ronnie Corbett, one of the greatest comedic duos Britain has ever produced. And we don't produce a lot of things, but we're good at comedy and we're good at beer. Why? because we sit in the pub all day drinking beer and telling jokes. All right, that's enough for the moment. Catch you guys later. Right, here we are now on the engine. I'd like to say this is the crank, it's all fitted, but you can see there's no bolts in it, so you know I'd be lying through my teeth. And also, there are no shells in there, they haven't arrived yet. I'm waiting for my order to complete before they ship it to me. I'm just put everything here just to keep it organised and also keep it out of my way. Next thing I will do prior to putting all the shells and that in is I'll give this a nice clean up and get rid of all this odd bits of paint, and I will hone the bores again one more time. Once that's all done, then we can start assembling. Waiting for the core plugs, and then I will be painting the side of the block. And as you can see here, this is now painted but still has to be cleaned up fully. Alright, just wanted to show you that. Why? Because I can. Alright, in order to assess the reusability, shall we say, of the valves, we need to clean this crap off of them. And that would normally be done in a lathe. Like 99% of you, I would imagine, I don't have a lathe, so I made my own. It's called an electric drill. Put it in my vise, tighten it up, not too much, it's plastic. Shove the valve in, spin it away. Now clean it. And be very careful with this, don't be too aggressive. Just want to get all the coating off. Not pushing hard at all, merely letting it rest there. And also on this side. And then finish off with a bit of paper. And you will get through quite a bit of this paper. Difficult to get into that little corner there. Alright, let's have a look and see. Okay, there's a little pitting on there. Not too bad. I'll have to make a decision later. Once I've started to grind them, if I can't get rid of this pitting here, then they will be replaced. Alright, that's it on this particular section. Oh boy, look what has arrived from my Jaguar supplier. About $500 worth of stuff in here. Oh, let's have a look. Now what I'm doing is I'm buying this is parts, the lower parts of the engine, and then when I'm ready with the cylinder head, then I'll buy those parts. It just makes it a little less painful. Let's see what we got. Aha! This should be, I was going to say piston rings, but I'm not sure. What does it say here? Ah, these are the bearings. Okay, these are the main bearings. Huh, made in Australia. How about that? Okay. Something in here. Something in the purdy bag. God, this is a big enough bag. Lots of little components. What have we got here? Those are nylon bushes for my steering column. I said I needed 2. Looks like they've sent me 3. Okay. And what is this? Ah, that is the steering column rubber gaiter. Okay, so I said there were engine parts. There is a few other things. There is the beautiful pilot bearing. Goes in the end of the crank. My core plugs. My 1-inch core plug. These all go on the block. Do note this one also goes on the cylinder head. There is 2 of them. What else have I got here? Don't know until... Oh, this is the thrust washers. Oh, and the... Geez, I've forgotten the name of them. Come on. You know what they're called. Woodruff keys. Eesh. That's on the front of the engine. Alright. What else do we have here? Ah, this is a complete piston ring set. Standard. And here we have the camshaft bearings. Again, made in Australia. Sorry guys if that's not a very good accent. And here is a very large box. This will be the timing kit, I would imagine. The time for the... Yep, this is the belts and the slippers. The tensioner. Complete kit there. A couple of other items. This is the water pump rebuild kit. That's going to be fun to do. Also, do note, this was like $46. It's well worth it, rather than buying a whole new pump. And what else do we have in here? Buying parts has never been easier. Okay. Yeah, that looks like an E-type tank to me. Okay. Oh, and some bathroom reading. The definitive Mark II parts catalogue. Oh golly gosh, am I going to have fun? Oh dear, I want to buy everything. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, this is going to be terrible once I start looking at this. Oh, look at that, all those lovely rubber seals and pedals and stuff. Okay, before I embarrass myself, I'll put this all back and continue cleaning up the valves that I was working on before I was so rudely interrupted by this awful delivery. Alright, onwards and upwards. Speak to you later, guys.